A big congratulations to Rory McIlroy. At the time of recording today's full swing analysis that we're about to get stuck into here of Rory, Rory has just gone on to win the green jacket for the second time and successfully defended at Augusta National. This swing that you're about to see here from Rory in full flow was, in my opinion, the most important shot that we've seen all Sunday. So this shot was hit with a 9-iron to near absolute perfection from 160 yards from Rory into the par 3 12th hole known as Golden Bell. If the folks at Augusta National were running a nearest to the pin competition on this hole, Rory certainly would have picked up that title as well. He stuck it to the closest anyone put it all day, and I believe the next best from the entire field on this hole on Sunday was still a further 5 or 6 feet away from where Rory managed to stick it. That set up his birdie and really put him in the driver's seat to be able to kick on and grab control of this tournament. So as I mentioned, the official name for this hole is Golden Bell, but it could easily, unofficially, be referred to as Giant's Killer. This hole has taken down many a world-class player that looked like they were in hot pursuit to get their hands on a green jacket, only to be tripped up by, usually, when they tried to attack this Sunday traditional pin position, tucked over on the right-hand side. Usually they fell victim to coming up just shy. The wind can swirl quite a bit in this section of the golf course where the players don't feel it so much back in the tee box, and all of a sudden a shot that they thought was tracking towards the pin, just like Rory's, ends up coming up short, hits the bank, and rolls back into Rays Creek. So hopefully I've managed to set the scene here and describe just how difficult of a shot Rory was faced with here. And in a situation where he needed to display total control over his golf ball, here is exactly how he did it. I absolutely love this finish position here from Rory, and if you're an amateur golfer looking to improve the control levels of your shorts irons and your wedges in particular, this is a great position to study. If we were to contrast what we see from Rory here, which is a very clearly defined endpoint to his golf swing, in contrast to the amateur golfer who, let's say they have a real hard time controlling their short irons into the greens, they usually produce a conclusion to their golf swing that has the golf shaft wrapped across the back of the neck. They've likely experienced a lot of bending at the elbows, which can make controlling their low points very difficult. And they also throw in, or can throw in a lot of the time, an excessive rolling over of the wrists, which makes producing a stable or a predictable club face angle at impact very, very unlikely. To highlight a couple of really powerful reference points in this image here that you can try and take away to your next practice session as you try and implement them into your own technique, I would have you take note of the position of the back of Rory's left hand and also that of the grooves on the club face by this point. Now, these two pieces are extremely important parts of the follow-through puzzle because they will have a huge influence on the starting direction and also the curve on your golf ball. Now, as you're setting up your tripod to record your swing to see if you're applying these pieces correctly, where you position your camera is super important so it doesn't distort what you think that you're seeing. Now, when we zoom out here and bring Rory back to address, we can see that, is this the best camera angle to record the golf swing from? No, is what I would say. But however, that's no attack on the cameraman. He was trying to record not just Rory's swing here, but also the beauty of the 12th hole here. And you can see that he's shooting this footage from across Rory here, where I would recommend that you set up your tripod to view things correctly from, just to make life a bit easier to see things, is I would position the camera in line with your hands and about at chest or bicep height here. So camera view is going to be set from more around this angle here. And it'll just make, as I say, a little bit easier to see these pieces. So when you've got your tripod set up in the position that I've just described, as a checkpoint, you want to see that the logo on the back of your glove and the grooves on your club face are pointing back towards that tripod. That's going to greatly enhance your ability to control the club face, keep it really stable going through impact, and produce a shot that doesn't have a ton of curve on it, and its start line is very much under control, just like what we've seen here from Rory on this shot. The next checkpoint from Rory's follow through that I'd like to highlight for you here is the extension piece from both of his arms here. You can see his hands have orbited around his spine here, and his arms are nice and straight into that follow through. Now, many an amateur golfer would benefit from a lesson that only included the instructor telling them 2 words, as long as those 2 words were arms straight. Plenty of amateur golfers who struggle with consistent ball striking. It comes from bending their arms way too much into the follow through, and that can have a number of destructive impacts on their own impact as they strike the golf ball. If their arms are bending too much, we'll experience thin shots predominantly. We can then see us also whip the club paths quite left coming through the strike. So we can see pulls or slices, a number of different weak shots from that. Certainly a shot that is void of any real compression onto the back of the golf ball. Now, for you to get the maximum benefit from watching this video, in order to take all these key learning points from it and actually be able to apply it into your own swing in your practice, you need to be able to simplify what I've just described here. Those educational points that we've delved into are very important to have an understanding of, but it's also crucially important that you don't end up being wrapped up in too many swing thoughts. You want to be able to simplify this, and a simple feel that I would try and describe for you to try and tap into when you're practicing this is to try and feel like your shoulders are primarily what's driving this motion here. Now, describing a feel is always a challenge, or you could even say impossible, because a feeling is subjective and it's going to vary from individual to individual. But in terms of trying to describe something here for the masses of people and masses of different type of people watching this video, if you feel like the shoulders are driving the motion here, what we're hoping to achieve from that feeling is that you're going to nail some really important positions here, which includes this one right here in terms of the inclination that your shoulder plane works on down to the ground on the backswing. And as we come through the strike on the front side, you'll notice this is exactly what we want to achieve here. So that shoulder plane working through the golf ball, almost nailing a exact symmetry to what we had on the backswing here in terms of their inclination down to the ground. So that's going to free up Rory to allow him to then hit the extension piece with the arms, and also the first points that we highlighted in the video of the back of the left hand and the grooves on the club face back towards that tripod that I talked you through where I'd like you to place that when you're recording your swing. To conclude today's full swing analysis video of your 2026 Masters champion Rory McIlroy, of course we've niched down in this video and focused primarily just on Rory's follow through for a very important reason. Oftentimes, the quickest way the average golfer can improve their ball striking is from equipping themselves with a very clearly defined end destination of where they want their golf swing to finish up in. Even if you don't necessarily have tons of time available to devote to practicing on your game and improving your full swing technique, if you equip yourself, as I say, with a very detailed plan of where you want your swing to finish up, you can reverse engineer things from improving your follow through, and it can go a long, long way towards improving a lot of the pieces that happen leading up to this point. If you've enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit the thumbs up and the subscribe buttons. It really helps with the growth of the channel, but it also just ensures that you won't miss out on any future content coming from myself here on the channel, of which there's plenty lined up to be released very shortly. For any golfer who has stayed until the end of a lengthy video like this, which is quite detailed, orientated, and very heavy on the educational side of things when it comes to the golf swing, you strike me as someone who is serious about learning and serious about finding ways to improve their own golf. If that is the case, then you can reach out and connect with myself today, regardless of where you are in the world. My name is Seán Marks. I'm a PGA professional and I specialize in teaching the full swing, and I help golfers worldwide through an app called Skillest that I use for my online coaching, help players reach their full potential tee to green. The online program that I run on Skillest that helps people of all ages and all skill levels reach their full potential tee to green is called the Long Game Transformation Program. The minimum commitment for this program for students looking to sign up is that of a 3-month period. Often is the case where students want to continue on long beyond this point because they've seen the value in it, their game has seen the improvements, and they want to continue to push the boundaries and see what's possible. But let's say that you only wanted to sign up for the first 3 months. Here is exactly what I can promise you will learn. You will learn the 3 fundamentals required to completely transform your long game, and that is strike, direction, and distance. The first, in strike, you need the ability to control your low points. Second of all, when we touch on direction, you need to be able to have a predictable curve and a consistent shot shape that you can rely on out on the course. And third is distance. You need to be able to know how to pump enough distance into your game to be competitive at the level of this sport that you desire to play at. This program is designed to give you as much support as you need. There's nothing pre-recorded. Everything is personalized to the individual. There's open communication channels that you can message me whenever you want. Anytime you have a question, you can message me. There's unlimited feedback on the program. And if you're ever in doubt as to whether you're doing a drill correctly or whatever the case may be, you can message me and get feedback within a turnaround time of never any more than 24 hours. If you're ready to start improving today, I will leave a link underneath the video in the description box where you can download Skillist. Alternatively, you can search for it on the App Store and get started on your improvement journey today. If you want in-person coaching with myself in Ireland, I also work with players based in Ireland online, but if you'd like in-person coaching, you can see my booking diary on my website, seanmarksgolf.com. So I look forward to seeing you, whether it's in person or remotely online, very soon.